I'm Heather Briggs of My Sew Quilty Life. Welcome back to my channel. I am so happy you're here, and I'm even more excited at the fact that today is the first day we are kicking off the 2024 Year of Sewing Block of the Month. I am so excited. I'm getting a little giddy, guys. I'm going to try to settle down, but I am just so excited. I started advertising this a few days ago, letting you know that today, January 5th, the first block would release. So we're going to have a tutorial today, but I first wanted to talk to you a little bit about the Year of Sewing Block of the Month, just in case you're new here and don't really know what I'm talking about, or in case you didn't feel like reading my blog post, which I'll link below in the description box. Totally fine. I don't like to read a lot either. Then I can go over a couple things. So the Year of Sewing, look, I'm going to say Year of Spools because last year it was the Year of Spools, and I've already done that on several of my Instagram posts where I put Year of Spools instead of Year of Sewing. So thank you guys for calling me out on it. It's a Year of Sewing. So what it is a mystery block of the month. It is going to be run the exact same pretty much as the Year of Spools if you participated in that one last year. That was a ton of fun. Still have to finish my quilt. I hope to in the next couple weeks to get that shared because it's so cute. And I've already seen a couple of your quilts pop up on Instagram and social media, and I'm so jealous. Love them so much. That block of the month was just so much fun, and it was so well received. You guys loved it, and that made me just so happy. So for the Year of Sewing block of the month, it's going to run from January to December. Really, the last block releases at the end of November, but it's the December block. And at the end, I will have a finishing setting to finish your blocks into a quilt. That is going to be free and is going to be something that's released on my blog. I'm also going to probably put a pillow pattern in there with it, but something different from last year is I don't think I'm going to put many different settings in the finishing settings. I'm going to focus on a focal quilt and then possibly a little pillow to coordinate with it. So that is one different thing. But again, the 2024 Year of Sewing runs all of 2024. Each month I release a mystery block towards the end of the month. Now, the February block does release at the end of January, so just be mindful of that. That's so we can get ahead of the months, because when we were doing Year of Spools, I was kind of behind with it, and I was releasing it in the actual month, and I thought it would be better this time to release it a couple weeks before the actual month. So just bear with me, but there is a schedule on my blog, and I will show a picture of it now in the video. And just write those dates down. That's when you know that the blocks will release. And a few days before they release, I'm going to put up some sneak peeks on my social media just to kind of let you guys know what's coming. And so you can see little sneak peeks. The blocks are so cute, guys. I am so smitten with these. So every month when I release a block, you can go to mysewquiltylife.com to purchase your low price PDF pattern. It is PDF format only, no paper copies, just PDF. And you go ahead and download that. And this year I did something a little different. So I'm going to show you the first pattern in January, which is what we're going to be talking about in this tutorial today. But I wanted to show you how it's different. So here is the January pattern. Last year, I had the cover be one whole image, one whole page of paper. And this year, I decided to make it kind of like my freestanding patterns that I have. So this is the cover. It's just folded in half. So when you get your PDF, you're probably going to be like, whoa, why is that sideways? Well, that's so that you can print it out if you choose to. And then you'll print it out, and then you'll fold it in half, and it'll be like a little paper pattern. On the back, so whereas before the fabric requirements used to be on the front, they are now on the back, as well as the basic instructions, your hashtag for sharing the block on social media, and a little bit about what the Year of Sewing Block of the Month series is, as well as don't forget to check out the tutorials each month. So here is our January block. It is called So Snowy. It is so cute. So this month's theme, again, is bobbins and snowmen. So I thought it'd be so cute to put those together in one block. And this pattern does come with 2 pages. I'll try not to show much of the pattern, but it comes with 2 pages with the cutting instructions inside, everything you need to know. So I just wanted to go over the block of the month really quick. If you are watching this before January 10th, I do have a fun pre-ordered bundle available on my website. This is so that you can go ahead and order all of the blocks right now. Now, you won't get all the blocks right now. It is just a pre-order of the blocks so that you'll have the convenience of each month. Instead of going to my website to purchase the block individually, you will be sent the block via email every month. So it's a huge time saver for you guys, a huge convenience, and you guys have already started showing me that you are so in love with that option. So, but if you do not order the pre-order bundle, don't worry. Every block will be available individually on my website like last year. And if you join my email list, which I'll link below, every time I release a new block, it is 15% off. I give you a 15% off coupon in the email that you can use on each block. Okay, so are we ready to get started on the January block? First, can I just show you the block? It is so cute. Okay. So here is the January block. Oh my goodness, so cute. So here's the January block. We've got a cute little stocking cap, a little cute carrot nose, several bobbins, and a cute little scarf. So are you ready to get started on making this block? Because I am so excited to start seeing your blocks. So let's go ahead and get started. I've already cut out my pieces. You can find the cutting instructions for each of your pieces on page 1, just under the block diagram. I like to lay mine out on design boards, and for this particular block, because there was a lot of pieces, I decided to put them on 2 separate design boards. I have all of my background on one design board, cut out, laid out nicely. And then I have all of my print pieces, so my reds, blues, greens, all of that on one design board. I did want to do this only because I wanted to keep the 2 snowman hats and scarves separate, because you can see I'm doing different colors, different placement of the colors for each one. I really wanted to make sure that I kept that organized. As you can see, I love to label my pieces with these little label alphabeties. They're specialty marking tools, and they're by It's So Emma. I love these a lot because I like to lay out my pieces to get a good look at it and keep organized while I'm sewing. So you'll have to check these out. I have them linked on my website under my favorite things. I really do love these. I use these a ton, and I even have the expansion pack right here. This one just goes AA all the way through ZZ, and then 10 through 20. And then this one goes A through Z, and then numbers 1 through 10. So these are very helpful to keep track. You can also make your own, super simple, by just, you know, even writing on a piece of paper. So I am using Bella 200 as my background for this block of the month for every block. So it's Bella 200 off-white. I really love this kind of contrast it gives all of the blocks, and I really love using that background. I'm going to be using a lot of different prints for my stash in order to make this block of the month, and as you can see for my January block, So Snowy, I have a lot of different pieces here. So I'm using a lot of Fig Tree. I'll be using some Sherry and Chelsea. I'll be using along the way some Lella Boutique, some Corey Yoder, just kind of mixing all of my favorite Moda designers, and you may see some of my own fabric in some of the blocks, just not this one. So I'm super excited to kind of mix all of my favorite designers up in this quilt, but it's gonna be super cute, and I'm so excited. So what do you say? Let's go ahead and get started. So I'm gonna move my pieces out of the way, off to the side, and I'm going to open my pattern up to page 1. So we're going to go ahead and go to the piecing instructions and start with step 1. Okay, for step 1, we are just drawing a diagonal line on the back of fabric H, I, K, O, and T. I have already done that, and you probably saw on my design board, I went ahead and did that. I drew a diagonal line across each of the pieces that I just listed. They're listed in the pattern. And how you do that, if you're new to sewing or doing that in general, I just take either a mechanical pencil, or I take a friction pen or friction marker. This evaporates when you press it with heat. And so I do line my ruler up and I just draw a line from the corner to corner. Now, I really love diagonal seam tape. This is by Cluck Cluck Sew. I actually have this on my machine. So I just align the corner of each of my pieces with the corner or with the red line here, and I don't have to worry about drawing lines. Now, sometimes if I do have a larger square, maybe about 4 or 5 inches, I do have to draw the line because the diagonal seam tape on my machine doesn't go that far. So go ahead and do step 1. Okay. So for step 2, we are going to be using fabric O and fabric V. So fabric O are our little squares here and fabric V. Now I have 2 separate V's, 2 different prints here. So I need to make sure I do not get these mixed up. And then I have our O's. So what we're going to do is we are going to place our fabric O squares on the corner of each of our fabric V square. We're going to sew on the diagonal line and then cut a 1/4 inch away from that diagonal line, and we're going to press towards fabric O. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for both of these, and I will be right back. Okay, I just went ahead and assembled my fabric O squares to the corner of each of my V squares, and now I have my 2 V units. These are so cute. I did go ahead and press towards fabric O, and then I did trim off any little bit of excess. After each step in all of my patterns, I have what your unit should measure. So if your unit does not measure that, or it's too large or too small, either remake it or readjust the piece, or you can trim off those extra little bits that you might have left over on your fabric. Okay, so now let's move on to step 3. So for step 3, we need our V units, and then we also need our fabric J rectangles. And all we're going to do for this one, it's super simple. We are just assembling our fabric J rectangles to the sides of our V units. It's super simple, and then you're going to press towards fabric J. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I will be right back. Okay, so here we have our J units. This is coming along great. So now we're going to move on to step 4. So for step 4, we can set these little guys aside. I'm going to keep them like this so I remember how they were on my design board. So for step 4, we need our fabric U rectangles. So that's the top of the hat. So our fabric U rectangles. And then we need our fabric K squares. So our fabric K squares. And what we're going to do is we're just going to place our fabric K squares at the top corners of our fabric U rectangles. And we're going to sew on that diagonal line. We're going to trim a 1/4 inch away, and then we're going to press towards our fabric U. So you're pressing towards fabric U instead of out towards fabric K. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. Here are our U units, all squared up nicely, pressed. So you see how we pressed towards fabric U, so that was different than what we did here. And that's so when we assemble these together, so we're not having issues with how we pressed. I like to be mindful of that when I am writing my patterns. I really try really hard to make sure that you can nest your seams, or that your seams are not going to match up and be bulky, because nobody likes bulky seams, right? Okay, also, I wanted to mention that one helpful tip that really helps me, and this is why I add it to my patterns, I really encourage you to measure after you're done sewing and pressing. Measure your piece. I give you the measurements again in each step so that you can see what they're supposed to measure. That really just keeps that accountability for each piece, because what you don't want is for one of your pieces to be bigger or smaller, and when you get to sewing all of that together, what happens is your block ends up being either wonky or too small or too big. And so I really find it helpful in anything I do. I measure it down and I trim off any little bits that are hanging over. Now, I did have a little bit of a hangover from assembling this fabric K square to the U. And because this doesn't actually have to match up with anything, I wasn't really worried about it. There's going to be a white background piece here. I went ahead and just measured it up and trimmed that little excess off. So feel free to do that too. But if I was having to, let's say, you know, align these two up for a perfect point right here, I would have been more mindful of that. But I just want to mention that little tip because I feel like when I first started quilting, I didn't measure anything after I, you know, assembled a corner square and pressed it. Everything was off by the time I got my blocks together. Then I was upset that I was cutting off points. And so that's been one huge helpful thing for me. Also, not stretching your piece when you're pressing it has been super helpful. So I just finger press it first and then lay my iron on it. I don't push my iron on the fabric. Okay, so those are just some helpful little tips. Hopefully you find them helpful, or I'm just blabbering on, one or the other. So we're gonna set these to the side, and remember, I'm trying to make sure that I have alternating fabrics, so I don't want the two fabrics to be the same for my hats. So for step 5, this is where I need to pay a lot of attention. So for step 5, we are going to be using our Y rectangles and our W rectangles. Now, as you can see here, I have a lot going on. So I have the green polka dots with the red polka dots, and I have a striped scarf. And over on this side, I have this little, I'm not sure, it's called eyelet from Fig Tree. So I'm gonna call it the eyelet print. I have a stripe with an eyelet print and a polka dot. So I wanna make sure I don't get these mixed up. But all you're gonna do is you're going to sew together all of your green and red little squares, and you're gonna have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 per hat. So 8 per hat. So I'm gonna go ahead and lay this one out. I'm gonna show you. So you start with a green and red, green, just alternating each different color. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna assemble all of these together, and we're gonna just press open. That's kind of gonna be as easy as it comes. It's just press and open. So that'll shrink up significantly when we do sew it together. So just assemble with your 1/4" seam. I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back. So I wanted to stop really quick and show you something while I was assembling this. So I don't actually sew each piece, press, sew each piece, press. What I do is I assemble each piece, and then I kind of finger press it, and then I lay the next piece on and sew that. So again, I'm here, I'm just not pressing it. I'm laying my next piece on it like this and assembling it. When I get it all done, I will press towards one side, and then I will go back and flip each seam open. So that's just kind of what I do to save time. I used to sew 2 together, press, sew the next one on, and press, and that just took so much time. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this up, but I thought I would share that tip. Okay, I just got done assembling our W units, which is that ribbing for the hat. And here they are. Again, you're pressing open. Now, if you don't want to press open, you don't have to. You can press to one side, but I thought with pressing everything together, I just wanted to reduce bulk. So here is the back of that one. They'll lay flat when they're sewn, but here we go. And you want to make sure that your green is on the left side. Okay, so the next step we're going to do, we're going to set these aside for a second. We're just going to assemble our J unit for step 6, our J unit to our U unit. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, I just got done assembling my hat top unit. Oh my goodness, these are so adorable. I love them. I love the little stocking cap. It's so cute. Gets me so excited. Okay, so for step 7, we are going to be using our hat top units, our W units, and our fabric L rectangles. So what we're gonna do here, I wanna make sure I don't have these mixed up. I think it goes this way for me. Yeah, okay. So what we're gonna do is we are going to assemble our fabric L to the sides of our hat top unit. So this is our hat top unit. Assemble first, assemble the fabric L to the sides of the hat top unit. Then press towards fabric L, and then you're gonna assemble your W unit to the bottom of that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I will be right back. Okay, are you ready to see the hat units? They are so adorable. Look how cute these are. I just love them so much. Okay, so let's move on to step 8. So for step 8, we're just gonna put these guys to the side. I'm gonna stick them up there. So for step 8, we need fabric BB, which is our little orange nose. And we need our fabric T squares. So fabric T squares. What we're gonna do is we are going to put our fabric T squares on the bottom corners of fabric BB. Now these pieces are super little, so just be careful when assembling these. I like to use a 1.5 stitch length, so when I'm sewing there's more stitches along my seam than if I was using a 2 or higher. That's just a little tip that I like to do. Now honestly, it is hard to seam rip if you mess up. You have to pick through all those little stitches, but it's a lifesaver to make your pieces not fall apart. So that's why I really like to use a 1.5. So I'm going to go ahead and assemble those and press towards fabric T, and I will be right back. Okay, that was a quick step. So here I have my BB units. I'm going to lay them out. I just got this little design board. I actually make these with some foam core and some batting and some hot glue, just so I can transport my pieces from my table easily or my iron back to my sewing machine. So I'm going to use this small design board for the next step because we are going to be assembling his little face, his cute little face. So we need for step 9 our fabric Q rectangles, our fabric R squares, and our fabric S rectangles. And what we're going to do is I'm going to lay this out really quickly. So you're going to have a Q rectangle. I'm going to lay one out up here first so we don't get them mixed up. You're going to lay out your fabric R, and then you're going to have 2 S's here. So I'm going to do it for this one as well. And on the pattern, you will notice little black arrows. Those are my pressing instructions. Now, when they have a number next to them, I do that so I can show you, because we're assembling a lot of little pieces here, I can show you what I want you to assemble first. So what we're going to assemble first is our fabric R to our BB unit. So these two right here. So we're going to assemble these two. We're going to press towards our fabric R. Then for the second step, you're going to assemble your fabric S rectangle to the right side and press towards fabric S. And then you're going to assemble your other S rectangle to the bottom of this unit and press towards fabric S. And then the last step is you're going to assemble your fabric Q to the left side, and you're going to press towards fabric Q. So I know there's a lot of little tiny little details there, but I wanted to combine a step whenever I can. I try to combine steps so that the pattern doesn't end up being 50 million pages. Nobody wants to have to print or store that many pieces of paper. So I figured this was a great time, but in this tutorial, I thought I would walk you through that a little more. It's super simple. You kind of know what pieces really do need to go towards each other. So I'm going to go ahead and assemble both of these cute little faces, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm so excited. These look so cute. Okay, here are my finished face units. Oh, so adorable. I'm so excited for this block. It is so adorable. I love it so much. Okay, so let's move on to step 10. So for step 10, we need our face units. We also need some fabric A. We need what? 2 of those per face unit. So fabric AA. This is just that top of the bobbin and the bottom of the bobbin. Okay, so we have those. And we need our fabric N rectangles. And what we're going to do is we're just going to assemble our fabric in rectangles to the sides of our cute little face unit. After that, after we've assembled both fabric in rectangles to the sides of our face unit, we are going to assemble the top and bottom fabric AA rectangles and press. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I will be right back. Okay, I just finished step 10 and here are our adorable little face bobbin units. Aren't they so adorable? So cute. They don't even have eyes yet and they're just so adorable. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put these little guys to the side and we're gonna start with step 11. So for step 11, you're gonna be making 3 of these bobbin units and you need fabric P rectangles and you need fabric N rectangles and you will need fabric AA rectangles. So we're just making the other little bobbins for his body right now, and it's the same way, except for we didn't have to piece a face here. Let me see if I got that on the right side. It's so hard to tell. This is cute fabric from Fig Tree Stitched line, and it's got like this beautiful like ice blue with these cute little, it says stitched all across it. I don't know if you can see that, but it's super cute. Okay, so what we're gonna do first is we are going to assemble, and I'm just gonna lay it out for one here. We're gonna assemble fabric N rectangles to our fabric P rectangles, press, and then you're going to assemble your fabric AA rectangles to the top and bottom. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that and I will be right back. Okay, I just got done making the body bobbin unit. So here are my 3 body bobbin units. Tried saying that a million times. Bobby bobbin, Bobby bobbin. Okay, so I have these done. I'm gonna have to figure out how I had them placed later when I laid out on my design board, but I think that goes there. I think it goes like that. Okay, so now we are going to move on to the little scarf. So we're gonna move on to step 12. So for step 12, we need our fabric H squares and our fabric I and our fabric X squares. So here is our fabric X. We need I squares. We need I second. So first we're going to start with our fabric H squares. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay out our fabric H squares on top of our fabric X squares like this. We're going to sew on a diagonal line, again, trim and press. And then we are going to, after we have pressed, so it will look like this, I mean, obviously a lot more neater, we're going to assemble our fabric I squares and do the same thing. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I will be, for both of them, and I will be right back. Okay, I just finished my X units, and we want to make sure that we keep them the right way. So the larger square with fabric H goes on the top right corner. Now I'm going to go ahead and get a design board, and I'm going to lay out my next step so that it is much easier for me to do this. So let me put all those things away. So we still haven't used yet our fabric Z, and we will. So I'm going to move those to another design board. But what we need is our fabric D. So we have one fabric D. We're making the right top snowman unit. So we need fabric D, 1 face bobbin unit, and we need the hat unit. So here we have these. And what we're going to do is assemble our hat unit to our face bobbin unit. Then we're gonna, after we press, then we're gonna assemble fabric D. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that and I will be right back. Okay, so here we have our adorable little right top snowman unit. Right top snowman unit. And we're making one of these. And just be sure that you're putting your little bobbin face the correct way. And so his little nosy is not upside down. Now we're going to assemble his body. So I'm gonna set that aside and get my design board. And what we need is our X unit, our fabric Z, we need fabric F, and we need fabric M. We need 2 fabric M's, and we need 2 bobbin units. So we're gonna lay it out. Now I staggered these bobbins because I thought it was so cute to kind of just stagger them like this instead of you know, instead of just having all the bobbins stacked like that, I figured it was much more cute to have him staggered. So this does create a little bit of steps for us, but it's all going to come together nicely. So what we're going to do first is assemble our fabric M to the side of one bobbin and our other fabric M to the right side. So assembling one to the left side, one to the right side. After we press those, we are going to assemble those two together, the two bobbins together, press. Then we're going to assemble our fabric Z to those and press. We're then going to assemble our X unit and fabric F rectangle and press. Then we're going to assemble them all together and press. So you'll see the arrows on this diagram again showing you which pieces to sew first. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and I will be right back. Okay, so now we have our right bottom snowman unit. I love how this looks with the cute little scarf, and then the staggered bobbins again, I think just adds the cutest thing. So our next step is we're gonna set this aside. Next, we're gonna assemble our next kind of little snowman hat and face, and we need our fabric EC, so EC, and our face bobbin. So we have our hat unit, our face bobbin unit, C and E. And what we're going to do first is we're going to assemble our hat unit to our face bobbin. We're then going to press and then assemble our fabric E to the top, press and then assemble our fabric C. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and I will be right back. Okay, I just finished sewing the left top snowman units. So here's how he looks. So cute. I am so in love with this black. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and do his little bobbin. So I'm gonna set that aside. We need our last bobbin unit that we have, and we need our last fabric Z, our last fabric G, our last fabric M. And what we're going, and then our X unit. Don't forget your X unit. So this is what it's gonna look like. So first we're going to assemble our fabric M to our bobbin unit, press, then assemble our fabric Z to the top and press, then assemble our fabric G to the bottom of our X unit and press, and then assemble it together. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and I will be right back. Okay, so now I have my left bottom snowman unit made, and now we have all of our units made. Now we're just putting them all together. So let's go ahead and do that. So the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to grab a design board, so it'll be much easier. So we're going to go ahead. This is our left side here, and he goes with the left snowman bobbin unit. Oh, so cute. Okay, and then we need our right snowman and our right bobbin body here. Okay, we need to press that a little better there. Okay, then we're going to, so first, we're going to assemble our left bobbin snowman unit, this one, to our left top snowman unit and press. And then we're going to do the same here with our right bottom snowman unit and assemble it to the right top snowman unit. After we do that, we are going to assemble the two snowmen together and press, and then we're going to assemble fabric B and fabric A pieces to the side. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and when I get back I will show you the finished block. Okay guys, I just finished sewing the block together and it is so darn cute. I'm so excited to show you. Are you ready to see it? Okay, here it is. Oh my goodness, this is so darling. I'm so obsessed with these cute little bobbin snowmen. They just need little buttons, and I need to buy some little black buttons, but I actually pulled out some red buttons just to kind of show you, and then some blue buttons to kind of show you what that would look like with the cute little faces. Look how it's so cute. So you don't have to add buttons, and if you do choose to add buttons, remember to add them after. Any embellishments or buttons, remember to add them after the quilt has been quilted, just so that your long arm quilter or your domestic machine doesn't break a needle trying to quilt through those, or break your button and then you have to worry about sewing it on. Another thing you can do is draw cute little faces using a permanent marker, fabric marker, any kind of permanent marker that won't wash off. Draw some cute little eyes and some cute little embellishments on the bobbins. That would be super cute. So there's just a couple ideas, but I'm so pleased with how this turned out. I love it so much. So guys, don't forget to go pick up your So Snowy January block for the 2024 Year of Sewing Block of the Month. We are officially kicked off here. It is so exciting. I'm so excited to see your blocks start popping up. I can't wait to tell you what the next month's block is. You are going to love it. Love, 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 love it. It's a February and it's a love theme, but you're going to be surprised at what the sewing item is. It is so good. I can't even contain myself with how good it is. So I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you're learning a few things from me, if any, about the little tips and tricks, as well as having a good time and a lot of fun sewing these blocks. Don't forget to share your block using hashtag #SewSnowyBlock, as well as use the block of the month hashtag 2024 Year of Sewing BOM. So don't forget to do that and tag me so I can see them and then reshare them. Also, don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already so you don't miss all the other tutorials and all the other fun videos that I release throughout the year. Also, feel free to leave a comment below if you're sewing along. Tell me what fabrics you're using. Tell me what colors you're using. Tell me what you're most excited about for this block of the month. I'll also link everything I mentioned below in the description box. So I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for being here and happy quilting. Bye guys.